saluto a tutti.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the HAC, your channel dedicated to Juve. And today we are also going to preview the Azzurri and Chiesa's Prove My Worth tour begins today, and we're going to get into all of that. All right, and as everybody rolls in, you guys know the drill. All right, let's get those likes up. We'll get some of the housekeeping out of the way. Ways to support. Super Chat's enabled. All right, we've got the merch store. There's a bunch of new designs, still 15% off the entire store going right now. And the easiest way, obviously, sharing the content. All right, we've got Mr. Skanga with us here today. We've got Luca, and then we've got Trim as well. And everybody's ready to rock. Everybody's donning the blue, as you can see. This is a Azzurri run cast today, so we're all supporting the Azzurri. And we're going to kick things off, everybody, with the Ride or Die Challenge draw for the Euros, all right? So you had your opportunity throughout the past few days to get your votes in. You still have a chance right now as we start to fire things up. Pick which cast member you want to roll with, all right? So we're going to get things rocking.
I'm telling you, you're gonna want to roll with me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You're gonna want to roll with this guy. Berto knows
all the time.
You don't.
So there's a bit of a change. There's a bit of a change since due to the odd number of members that we have participating. Berto, did you want to go through it or me? I'll go through it because since it involves me. So if you vote for Trim, the guy with the good beard down the corner, or me,
the other way,
we are actually one team. So there's 9 members, but there's only 8 teams. So me and Trim combining forces for the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, for this. Yep. And I'm telling you, you're going to want to pick our team.
Loser.
I'm not going to tell you why until after the draw. You're going to want to pick our team.
It wouldn't be a ride or die if we weren't on the same team. I mean, I picked it for the World Cup, right? So there you go. It was meant to be.
I feel bad for Trim, man. He comes into this and he gets dumped with Skanga. It's like the worst
double the flavor,
ever.
but not double the fun. Double the L's, all right? So there's only one team to choose, and that's Berto's, baby, all right? So roll with Team Berto, and let's get the job done like we did in the World Cup, baby. All right. Well, you guys look at everybody's ready to rock in the chat. Okay, you guys keep it rocking. Keep getting those likes up. And a big happy anniversary going out to Sev. Him and the lady celebrating their anniversary today. Let's get the Azzurri victory for you and the missus, all right? So
7 months.
There you go.
Hey. Good night.
Good.
Now.
Congratulations. Hey, every day is a special day.
Atta boy,
every day you
Sev.
can make it to the next day is great.
Like you
There you go. There you go.
Stink.
Hey,
But thanks for
Adam,
your support.
great choice. Great
Appreciate
choice.
the support.
Team Berto, Kashik, John's going GTA.
There you go. All right, Johnny
He
boy.
knows.
All
That's
right.
it.
All right. Now, let's not waste any time, Skanga. Let's go.
I got the bowls too.
We got the bowls.
I'm ready to go.
So we've got the teams
Members.
divvied up into your bottom 8 nations, your mid-ranked 8 nations, and then your top 8 nations. So everybody going to come out with a top 8 squad, all right? So we're not going to go too intense there and leave you guys in the dust, because
Starting with the bottom 8.
somewhat fair. So bottom 8 first. Let's get these scrubs out of the way.
We'll let the members decide here. Do I draw the team first? Oh shit, lost the ball. Or,
Oh God, you got one job.
I got it.
Okay.
Do we draw the team first or the member first?
Draw the team first.
Yeah,
The team
fucking donut.
Draw the team first, then let's see what.
You guys just got to trust me that I'm not looking, right? I'm not holding these bowls. I don't have the
We
shoulders.
don't
Sorry.
trust
So
you, but we don't really have
first
a choice.
team out. Tough one to pronounce. Czechia. 19
check.
ranked.
Czechia.
Why do you say Czechia?
They go to member.
Czechia.
First off the board, Omer gets them, of course.
Oh, boy.
Beautiful.
You misspelled someone's name on the ball.
I'm just going to draw them both at the same time. Not even looking. Slovenia goes to the Trims. Tony and Trim.
Nice. The trick.
That sounds like a gay band.
Slovenia.
Yeah.
All right.
That sucks. That's a tough one.
Easy,
to get.
Luca. All right.
I'm sorry, that was too funny.
So Lucci Shout out to
Lucci,
poor Scots.
Scotland.
Oh,
Yep.
the Scots.
They're off to a great start. Good one, Luch.
That's tough. That's a tough one. Berto, you're starting off with the 22 ranked Slovakia.
I love it.
Oh, the
Love it.
Slovaks.
Of course you do.
That's
Of course you do.
Country?
Sent them over
All
a
right,
fresh
what do we got
care
here?
package of juice today.
Lou, he's told me stories about the state of Georgia, so that's actually
Oh, no,
quite fitting.
That's a good fit. Yeah,
State.
that's a very good fit.
That's,
It is literally.
Good for Lou.
Georgia.
Good for him. Good for Lou. So we got Joe.
Yeah.
He gets tech. I know he's a big tech supporter, so good for him.
Oh,
No, he's not.
some Polish sausage for Joey
You're like
Caps.
the only guy that likes him.
Yeah, Joey loves the sausage. So Polish sausage, yeah, he could get
I'm
it.
saving that clip.
Luca, you're starting off with the communist state of Romania, I believe. right?
Yes, communism.
Oh, I gotta put this one over here. Or more.
That's fitting as well.
That's very
Yeah.
fitting.
And I guess the last one here, obviously, is going to be Lex
Yeah.
with Albania.
Oh,
Oh, no.
That's
Oh,
actually
boy.
I love the
Terrible.
conflict for her today. Beautiful. Beautiful.
The enemy today. That's it.
I gotta make
Now
sure.
we get to the mid-8 sides.
6. Yeah, I got fucking ping pong balls all over the place now. That's only one pot.
Hey. Handle your balls, sir.
All right, I got to make sure I have 8 names in here. I don't want to get these mixed up.
I heard one
Okay, we're
bounced
good.
away. Yeah, there's one that bounced away, buddy.
Mid-8. Let's
Don't
go.
worry, look at the dog will get it.
Oh, I forgot it.
All right, so the Azzurri are in this pot, FYI,
Azzurri.
In the mid-8, the Azzurri?
Ooh.
because they're ranked 9th, right? So they're the top ranked team in this pot.
They did get ranked 9th, yes.
Oh, damn.
Shite, that's why.
Lou gets the Ukraine, which is hilarious.
That's fucking great.
Which is
Absolutely hilarious. If everyone knows Lou, that's awesome.
That's fucking great.
Berto gets Austria.
Okay.
The
I can deal with that.
Fucking sucks.
Stinks.
Austria, dark horse.
No.
Lucci gets the Swiss.
I think
Yeah.
you got them
Oh.
last time, too.
some Swiss
I think he
chocolate
did.
for Lucci.
I think
Yeah.
you got the Swiss
I
twice
think he
now.
did, yeah.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, okay. Oh, the trims?
The
God.
trims. Italy.
Turkey.
No, you got
No. Damn it. Come on, Yildiz. Wake up, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I guess we got that to look forward
They
to.
stink.
Omer, Hungary.
All right.
12th in the what? Are these
Wait,
ranked?
is there a conflict possibly? Is it Lex
No.
next?
No,
Okay, never
no
mind.
such thing as a conflict.
Oh, there it is. There
Italy.
it is.
Joe got Italy.
No, it's
Luca.
you. Ah,
God
fucker.
damn it!
Well, they're screwed.
I'm
Well,
so it's finished.
they're not
That's it.
winning.
Yeah. That sucks.
There goes all my money.
We call
Joe,
Luca mush around here.
No, that's Joe.
those are
Serbia.
Serbians,
Serbia. Nice.
He's got Serbian friends. That's fucking hilarious.
and that we should be on the last one, correct?
Yeah,
Which would
this will
Lex.
be Lex.
Yeah.
Denmark.
Denmark.
Denmark is that's a fucking solid team to get.
Okay, I got to make sure I got 8 names again.
All right, just give me France and I'll win this thing. So let's go.
Omer, Luca.
Oh, way too confident, my man.
Yeah, kind of like the World Cup one. How'd that work out
Okay.
for you?
That's what happens when you fix the. That's what happens when you fix the pot, Berto.
I didn't even do the draw.
Ah,
Your
shit,
tears
old man.
taste delicious, though.
It was old man Skanga, I forgot.
Just give me France.
Pick
they're
something. Stop
taking it.
stirring.
I think they're taking it.
All I hear is fucking like echo.
Who is this?
Joe gets the Croatians.
Okay.
Ooh.
How they ranked above us?
I know.
Oh wait, they made it to the last
Stunk.
World Cup. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh.
France.
Oh, it's definitely Omar.
Lex.
Oh, Lex.
Oh.
Team Lex must be pretty
As you
fired
can
up
see, this
right
is
now.
totally random. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt your shoulder.
Yeah, easy.
Take it easy.
This was my nightmare. This right here.
We're getting
was my
England.
nightmare.
Wait,
Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands. No.
That's fine. It could have been England, bro. It could have been worse.
Damn it.
I never want anything.
I know. I want Germany so badly. Come on.
The freaky deaky Dutch.
Give me the.
Damn it.
Oh, that's
Spain and
that's-
Omer. Ooh.
Last time too. Holy shit.
Is Omer's team good here? I get the. Oh no, he got Hungary. So never mind.
Spain, Hungary, and Czech.
Pretty even. Seems pretty even so far.
Omar always surprises, man.
What do you got?
I love that. He has to
England,
cheer.
Lucci.
This is my favorite. I'm gonna actually frame these two
You got
together. I'm gonna
Scotland
leave
and
those
England,
aside.
bastard.
Oh, did he get? He
got
didn't get Scotland.
He's just missing Ireland for the fucking triple
Okay.
bet.
3 members, 3 teams left. Oh,
Can you not read?
No.
I gotta line them up. You.
Germany.
Give me Germany. Give it. Oh,
Berto.
Alberto.
God damn it. That's a
Not bad. Not bad.
The Germans. All right.
so fucking abrupt.
Belgium. Lou.
Belgium, Lou. All right.
I think Lou is just continuing.
Lou's drinking already. It's
So-
100%. So there's only one.
Luca's the last one.
Luke is the last one,
What the fuck is left?
and to confirm, Luca gets Portugal.
Portugal,
Oh, the fuck.
Italy, and Portugal.
All
on the
right.
same
There
team.
you go. There you go.
Terrorism.
That's it, man.
It's done. It's done. So
Good thing I had extra ping pong
I'll give
balls.
you the recaps right now.
Do it.
Before
I forgot.
Mr. Scango did such a great job running that, takes off, but Anthony and Trim together on one team. They have the Dutch, Turkey, and Slovenia. Luca has Portugal, Italia, Romania. That's actually good. He's not happy about Portugal. I don't know why. They'll do all right. Lucci, England, Swiss, and Scotland. Berto, the Germans, Austria, Slovakia. Omer, Spain, Hungary, Czech, Lex, France, Denmark, Albania. That's actually probably, I'd say, a good 3 squad. Albania is not going to do much, but France and Denmark, that's solid. Cappuccino, Croatia, Serbia, Poland. Decent spread. Lewis,
That is a good
Belgium, Ukraine, Georgia. Sorry for your luck, Lewis. Sorry. I don't think that's
Well,
doing
before
it.
we go,
But
before I go,
It's
so we're
actually
just gonna do like team points, right? There's no special points in this. It's just the points that your team's garner, and that's it, right?
it's
That's your total.
it's not
points.
even literally. Last time we didn't even really do points. Like we just did
Yeah.
straight up winner of the
Who goes
tournament.
furthest?
And then the people who chose that team to ride or die with get entered in a draw to win a kit of their choice.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. If mine and Trim's team win, I will personally purchase a 2024-2025 jersey for one of the people that rode or died with us.
Yeah. Let's do it.
2024-2025
Oh, there
Juventus
you
jersey.
go.
Out of my own pocket, I will purchase a jersey of the winner's
Are you
choice.
thinking-
It's not
are
going to
you-
be like the cheap ones. It's Berto's going to procure it. It's going to be one
Are
of the
you-
legit ones. I
Are
will
you
purchase
taking
one.
from your daughter's fucking like?
All
You
right,
wanna know
all
something?
right.
Don't even tell him.
College fund.
He's taking from the college
Here we
fund.
go.
He's
Team
doing
Lou
that.
will not yield. There you go. There you go.
Probably better.
All right, we're going to have some fun with this. And the banter has just begun. So if you noticed, Mr. Skanga here is out there ridiculing every pick that was
Every
not
single
for his
person.
team. All right,
Correct.
but this is just the beginning. The tournament's just started, so the trash talk is going to be firing. It's unfortunate for the Azzurri fans that Luca's team got the Azzurri because Luca is pretty much mush, and everything he touches, it just goes to shit. So winning,
I still think
don't
we're
know.
winning this bitch.
Who?
I
think
don't
we're
know.
winning.
All right,
Definitely
but
not true.
Skanga, thank you as always. Enjoy your weekend. Now, everybody, we
Great
shift
fellas.
our focus into our topics. All right, so we are definitely going to talk about the Azzurri. We're going to talk about the latest round of news around Juve, and today, obviously, quiet day as Euros start to ramp up and whatnot, but we do have some reports trickling in, and obviously now, one of the big news pieces of the day isn't even a men's player, but it's a female player, and that's Alicia Lehman potentially with this opportunity to come and join the Juve women and whatnot. And you have some of the journals out there actually putting hourglasses to it and everything and saying, soon, trying to get hyped up. Listen, if there was a possibility and it happened, would be massive for the women's side. This girl carries a following of like 16.6 million on just one of her socials. It would be big from a marketing perspective, but honestly, I just want Luiz to get done, and all signs are pointing that deal is going to get done soon. All right. So if she comes for the women too, hey, fantastic. We're hearing Sancho's name today quite a bit. And there was one story that said, well, he was available for a loan in January. Allegri didn't give the okay or whatnot. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. Don't buy into this thing, okay? If they were trying to get him in January, probably fell through. You think he would have left at that point in that time during this past season? So some of the reports we get just make me laugh, okay? But Sancho, we definitely got to talk about him because we've got this interesting scenario brewing right now with Chiesa and Soule. And I've been saying for a while now, there's no way I could see Juve getting rid of Soule and Chiesa in the same window. But we could be staring down the barrel of that actually happening, like legitimately. Chiesa and Juve at a strange crossroads right now where apparently Chiesa's trying to get the best opportunity possible. He's taking it through the Euros. Everything I heard personally was that Giuntoli wanted things wrapped up before, not just with him, but even with Rabiot. And he wants to get things moving. He wants things done quickly. I don't know if this is going to be one of those moments where maybe did Chiesa burn his bridge? Is Giuntoli burning his bridge on a renewal here? Like, we got this weird thing. And with Soule, he stands a lot of money. That's pure profit. If they can get a deal, say between 30 and 40 million euros, a pure profit, like that funds a lot moving on in the mercato for Juve. So it's this weird thing. I want to know from you guys, are you getting the sense that we are potentially losing both in the same window? How do you feel about that if we should lose both in the window? And we're going to kick this one off with Trim.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know we've kind of touched on it the last couple weeks as the news is filtered out. I still think that there's a deal to be had for Chiesa to stay and extend for 1 year. But the more and more the journalists and the rumors are out there about meetings with different clubs, and, this past week, the meeting with Giuntoli and his agent, and it didn't sound like it went too well. It's sounding like they're both going to be on the outs.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, for me, I would prefer Jadon Sancho. Actually, I would say there shouldn't be another option if it's between Greenwood and Sancho. Like, it's a no-brainer. I know we'll probably get into Greenwood a little bit, but
yeah,
for me, you stay as far away from that player as possible. And for me, Sancho's the better option. Now, in terms of formula, how you make it work, it'd be nice to do a loan with the option as opposed to obligation, and maybe you can bring the terms down a bit. But I would definitely, if Sancho is an option, I would definitely look into him as being one of the replacements for Chiesa and Soule, because obviously we're going to need multiple guys. So I don't think you just get it done with just Sancho alone.
Yeah. How do you feel about, because, and I'm going to switch this up a little bit to Luca and then come back to you, Trim, but like with Chiesa's words over this interview 2 days ago where he said that, look, at Juve, I have to play mostly on the inside of the pitch. With Spalletti, I have freedom to roam. After Euro 2020, I was on the rise as one of the best football players in the world. I had a cruciate ligament that I ruptured and whatnot, and I had a long road to recovery, but I have more than enough time to still prove my worth, etc. A lot of fans were like thinking he was coming off arrogant. He was being not accountable for the fact that he just simply hasn't really delivered. They didn't really like the words, and fans are starting to turn on Chiesa now. But there's still a large portion of the fan base that is upset with Giuntoli and upset with the team for not giving Chiesa what he wants to stay. So I kind of want to get Luca's thoughts and feelings on where you're at in this whole thing and what your feelings are.
Oh man, there's way too much going on here. This has Dybala vibes all over again.
Big
And
time. Big time.
and honestly, my feelings are the same. I think there's so much going on that I don't even think we know everything to start with. So my personal thoughts, I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll work something out, and probably a bridge just to see what happens next season. Because again, we don't know if he really has been limited. You know, like our source of examples post injury is just Allegri, and we have a little blurt here for some time with the Azzurri, and even then, it hasn't looked great for Chiesa. So I feel like he could do a bridge, because personally I don't foresee him going anywhere else. Because first of all, I don't think anyone else can afford what he wants. But second of all, I don't think what's attractive about Roma and Napoli. Let's be really freaking honest here. So I don't see Chiesa really going anywhere. I think he finally, sucks it up and takes that year, and then we'll see what happens. But that's my thought right now, unless you want my thoughts on Soule as well.
Well, I just kind of want to think, are you upset with management at any way, shape, or form? Or are you kind of frustrated with Chiesa?
Honestly, I haven't been paying attention to it, because again, it's all smoke. I find we can't start looking at nitpicking tiny things and little details and little interviews. I'm not gonna hang on the words of the guy just because he said a 5-second interview post practice and maybe his heart was pumping and he wasn't thinking. Chiesa is not the most mature with a lot of his words and his actions. We've seen that he's not perfect. We know it, but as long as he performs on the pitch, I don't give a shit. And management-wise, I know a lot of people are mixed feelings about Giuntoli, but he's doing what's needed right now, and he is not giving a flying fuck about people's emotions. If he thinks he can make money off Chiesa, he's going to do it. He doesn't care. He's like, if this guy's not performing at the level that he wants to be paid at, you're gone. So I'm not going to get mad at either of them. I'm just going to wait for it to get resolved and see what happens then, and then make my decision. Right now, my mind is on the national team, and I'm not worried about what Giuntoli has to say or what Chiesa has to say. We've changed coach. There's a lot of stuff in the air. Things are going to be said. Again, he's not perfect in interviews, but not many people are nowadays. So whatever.
But that's the tough thing, is that your focus being the Euros. This is why I say maybe burning bridges, because if the club that is your best option right now at the moment, which is Juve, if they want something done in that period of time before you go to that tournament, and you say, well, no, I'm going to go there, put my best foot forward. Well, that kind of sends the message then, if you were given an ultimatum, that, yeah, you're okay with the options that come from it. The other thing here that's crazy is that there's a risk of injury. And where does that put everybody in that scenario if, hopefully, obviously, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But should it happen, Juve would be screwed, because I don't think you're finding a deal if this guy gets hurt, for sure. And then he goes into final year, and then he is legitimately walking. The only agreement these parties have ever had, apparently, is just the fact that he's not leaving on a free. But, that doesn't mean automatic renewal or 1-year bridge, whatever. It just means that, hey, something's getting decided this summer. But with Fede, I don't know, Trim, do you think he's maybe burnt the bridge? Giuntoli seems like it's no nonsense. It just seems like he's doing things his way, and he doesn't really care about the consequences or the feelings or the sentiments. Are you getting that vibe?
You do get it a little bit, but I feel like we have to remember that we've seen in the past, and I'm sure we've all seen it in different sports, not just specific to football, but we've seen in other sports where you have contract standoffs. Oftentimes they do get ugly, but more often than not, again, it's just the team and the player trying to kind of jockey for positioning in terms of what's works best for them, and to try to convince the other party to take their deal. So, I mean, it's hard to say right now, burning bridges, but what I would say is that the media is definitely a big factor, and everything that's being put out in the papers and online is definitely affecting some people's view and judgment on this whole thing, whether it's management, whether it's the player. And don't get me wrong, I understand that as well, because I'm a fan, and it does kind of cloud your judgment a bit. But so trying to be as neutral as possible, I think the way Luca mentioned, we just got to kind of sit back, let them figure it out. Whatever happens, then we decide for ourselves and make our opinions and our judgments, right? Because it's so easy to just sit back and say, okay, well, the player wants more money. Well, screw him and ship him off. Who cares? We don't need him. But it's not that simple. I think we've talked about this, Berto, you and I. Like, I feel like the team and the player really need each other in this moment, and that 1 year bridge is the best option for both parties. And then just move forward and see what happens into next summer.
Yeah, and this is another thing about it, is just what are the actual demands? Because nobody knows. So whether you're attacking Chiesa a bit in this moment, or you're going at management in some moment, my point is we don't actually know. Like, what's the difference? Is it 1 million, 1.5 million? Because those that are going after management are saying, just pay him the extra. Well, what if it's like 4 million extra? You don't even know what that number is. If he's trying to be level with Dusan in pay, that's another 3 million gross.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, actually a little bit more. And I'll be quite honest, I'm not so sure I would go that route. I'm not so sure I would give into that. But if it is 1 million, okay, well, yeah, then that would make sense. But is it terms as well? Is he wanting 3? Is he wanting 2 or 3 years? Like certainty. Are we comfortable with that with Fede? I'm not so sure yet again. Because why? Well, again, it's performances. We've been naming for quite some time, and this goes back to when we were talking about 1 year bridge renewal, and we said that's perfect because he should be on a make or break. And for anybody bringing up like he needs to be, as he's one of the top guys, in the same pay as the top guys at this club, and look at Dusan. Dusan is very much under the microscope as well. Yeah, like, but with that salary,
he stepped up much more. And that was a
salary that Giuntoli didn't give out or dish out. And he's trying to work with too. So that's not like the ruling on this and Chiesa needs to be up there. No, like these guys need to, literally the title here in the header, prove their worth. And Vlahovic has done that for some, but not all in the fan base. And he's still kind of out there with this question mark around it. And Giuntoli continues to try to work on that contract. But with Chiesa, yeah, he's on a make or break next year. And there's several other players that are on that same list. So I kind of understand where the club's coming from in this whole negotiation thing. But it's interesting now when you tie in Soule, because I see the comment here, and it's Vedad and just saying that, you know what, he seems a little childish. I would much rather capitalize on him than from Soule. Now, the big kicker here that we're talking about is you've got a really down value on Chiesa. If it's 25, if it's 30, you're making, 10 to 15 on the books in a positive. Soule is pure profit. Like if you get 30 to 40 there, that's 30, 41 shot. That goes a long way in terms of mercato moves. And the reason is because your mercato moves are actually amortized based on the contract. So it's massive if you pull in a number like that, right? But losing both, do you guys think we should lose both this window? Luca, you're automatically going no. Like, what are your thoughts on losing both?
For me, it's, again, I believe that Chiesa will stay, but for me, like I've been on this horse for a while. Even last year, I wanted Soule to stay, but I still wanted him to get that loan because I think he needed that experience. And now that he's gotten that experience, I'm fully understanding of what it is on the books and how it would, fund us. And I'm totally fine if we end up selling him, but keeping Chiesa. But if you're gonna tell me both, I feel like that's a lot of attacking talent that's been comfortable in Serie A for a while, that's just gone. Like if you want to start talking about the possible rumors that are out there of whoever we're linked with, these are guys that have no experience in Serie A. We have no real consistency with them. They're jumping from team to team. So for me, I like if we're gonna get rid of Chiesa, I say keep Soule. Like he's another young prospect who just proved himself. And again, sure, like maybe his value can go down a bit if he has an okay season, but I doubt that. He had a great season with a shit club. Imagine if you put him in back in our rotation with all these different tournaments that we have going on, and with a new fresh coach with a better approach. I think if anything, he could only go up. And even if he doesn't, we could still make money on the books next year. We sell him for whatever 20 or even 15. Doesn't matter. It's about the same we make on Chiesa now. So for me, I'd keep one at the minimum. Selling both, I don't know. I feel like you're losing a lot more than what you'd be gaining.
Yeah, you start to get to this crossroads. Like maybe you just keep Chiesa around and let him walk next season too. If your value is only gaining 10 on the books this summer, like there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But losing both, Trim, is that in your thought process right now for this Juve?
Well, based on the options that are available, realistic targets that we're thinking of trying to replace both with, I would say we've kind of talked about it before. It's why give yourself more work? We know that the middle of the park is where we need to focus on the most this transfer window specifically, maybe even into January if we need to bolster something later in the season. But I would prefer to keep one and lose one if that's the case. But to lose both, it's just really hard for me to identify two or even three options for the same value as both players and to bring them in. I think it's a lot of tough work to be done to replace those guys. So I would rather keep one, and the one for me would be Chiesa. It's the easiest to keep.
It's gonna be tough for me. It comes down to options. So I'm fine if we get rid of both, okay? But I gotta see the options on the back side of it. One of the options we have to get to, you guys have the poll question in front of you, all right? And that's Greenwood to Juve because it's not going away. And you know what? We got to tackle it. It's a hot one out there. Obviously, try to navigate this in the best manner possible. But Greenwood, according to the poll right now with all of you, it is 64% no and 65% no now and 35% yes on Greenwood. Look, it's just a hard no for me on Greenwood. That's all it really is. And I understand people talking about second chances. I understand about people talking about the fact that the charges were dropped. I understand people bringing up that the fact they're together now and she wants it to not be brought up and see it continuously posted every time his name's mentioned and they want to move forward. I get all of that. And I do understand the argument that some fans out there have put out stating that, well, what does it mean from an image point when Ronaldo went through his and he was with us? And then you have Rugani on a DUI. You have doping on Pogba. You have gambling on Fagioli. All right. So from an image thing, now all of a sudden this is the thing. And that's the fight they're trying to make. For me, it's quite simple. The scenarios are not necessarily the same. And it might sound really shitty for people, but it's actual reality. Finances cut into it as well, unfortunately, sometimes when those situations happen to you and they are out of your hands. Paul Pogba, we have no control over. We had zero control over what happened there. And he is going to be saying goodbye. Fagioli, now you get into this battle of addiction versus beating a woman. Okay.
What are we talking about? The guy beat a woman. This is not the same realm. I'm sorry.
And I understand, like,
It's
you know,
bothering me.
the forgiveness factor, all this. We have, with the
No.
evidence around that, okay, everything I've seen, I've heard, whatever, with just the rumors alone, if you look at what's being said out there and how Juve is getting drugged through the mud on a player we don't even actually own, why would you bring that on? There are other players, okay? We're hearing about Sancho today. I would gladly take Sancho over Greenwood, okay? I would take a lot of players over Greenwood, okay? Just, it's a no for me. It's a no. I understand a high potential player for cheap, but it's not even really that cheap. And you're bringing on so much that you just don't need. And the Ronaldo thing, all this, that happened after we signed him.
Yeah.
You know, it's different when it's in your hands. I can't understand actively going into something and just being like, okay, yeah, we're bringing this in knowing what's going to come from it. It isn't really complicated to me. If you're talking about corporations and all this too, if you guys want to get into the reality, and some people have come out me and just saying, man, you've got to get out of the, you got to forgive, you got to do this. I'll be 100% honest with you. If you have a person applying for a job and they have had charges laid against them, even if they were clear, if you think that a top run company still doesn't factor that in their decision for forgiveness purposes or whatnot, you are grossly mistaken.
Where are you working? That's my question. I want to know where.
Sadly, that is just not the way the world works. And I could tell you from personal experience with a $1 billion company that guaranteed the amount of checking and background checks that go in. Yeah, it's definitely, it's just a hard no for me. It's a hard no. Sancho, okay, let's get after it, whatnot. Like some of these other targets. Now, you guys, do you have anything to add on this Greenwood thing? Because for me, it's just no. It's just no.
I'll add one small thing. You know, I'd like to think we have a lot of faith in Giuntoli being a smart guy. So, I mean, you know, literally, if he has any kind of, you know, brains, whatever you want to say, soul, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't even really believe that he's interested in Greenwood. I think this is all driven by maybe the papers and, like, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you sign a player that cannot play in a country? He is banned from playing any competitions in one specific country. So you're telling me we're going to sign a player for X amount of dollars, go into a European tournament in the Champions League, and basically be down a man if we draw an English team? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, I understand we're playing a lot of competitions, but just it's pretty self-explanatory.
100%. 100%. And yeah. I mean, look, Bert, you said it all emotionally, and even Trim, like, you're nailing it on the head in this case. It's what the fuck are we talking? I'm sorry, like, it's bothering me, and I just want to yell at the people that said yes. Like, Bert, you said it clearly. All the allegations we had in the past, these are things that happened while they already signed. What are we gonna do? Terminate the contract there? Even Pogba, we couldn't technically terminate on those grounds. I think we still have to wait. Like, he's still an employee, so you're completely on the fucking nail here by saying, why do we need to make it worse for ourselves? You know, it's not like he's coming in at maybe a $1 million salary a year, you know, and he's going to light it up. No, he's probably going to ask a shit ton of money, and it's going to cause us a boatload of problems just PR-wise. And like, no, it's too much that we don't need. You know, like, we're just a fart away from having another investigation on our hands because we're Juventus, and that's just how it always is. We don't need more problems. And I honestly don't see, like, I get it. He's got some talent, but if he really had that much talent, there'd be much more competition for him. So I call bullshit. Let him go play for Roma. Let him go play for Lazio. I couldn't give a rat's ass. not for Juventus. I'm sorry. You want to play for a middle tier club? Go for it. They need him more than we do because for them the upside is better. For us,
I gotta address this from Salcat here on the Ronaldo thing. The news broke out after we signed it, but happened during his Real Madrid. I never even knew about this during his, like, I'll be quite honest, I never knew of any of this. Okay? Regardless of how it happened, if you want to get into the particulars of it, there was no actual evidence against him. And this is my thing. The presumption of innocence still exists. Okay? That still exists. So with Greenwood, I've seen the evidence I personally need. Okay? I've heard the audio. I've seen the photos. I've made up my mind. If you haven't and you want him to come to Juve, I have no problem with it. Okay? That's your opinion. For me, no. These two situations are not the same. This girl had no evidence. The physician reports showed nothing, were clear. She also got in shit for scamming and was caught scamming and everything. Like, what are we talking about? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And I will say this. For everyone that gains comfort in the fact that Greenwood is now with this girl, and I'm going to drop it on this because we're going to move on.
Please.
I actually find it more unsettling that they're still together because the percentages
100%.
when something like this goes down of something coming more down the line and whatnot is actually extremely high. So all the best of luck to them together and everything. But for me, no, it's a no. It's a no. Okay. Now, Morata, third time's a charm. Boys, Morata. Trim.
Why are we doing
yes
this?
Or no?
So you're saying there's a chance? All
yes
right,
or no? 12 million
let's
release
go.
clause. Morata potentially keen. Still interest from Atletico Madrid. What are we talking?
So it's 12 million release clause, and he wants to lower his wages. The thing for me would be, what are his wages going to be? Are we talking 3? Are we talking 4 million? Like, but yeah, no. Typically, I'm with the no returns 9 times out of 10. But the reason why I think this makes sense is only because he's still, 31, 32 years old. He's still got at least he's got a couple years left, and he's going to be strictly a rotational piece. It's not like he's coming in to start.
No.
So if you're telling me he backs up Dusan, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Luca's a no, so let's go, Luca.
No. I get it. I'm not saying Morata's a bum. He's a good player. But how many times do we need to wash and do the rinse cycle to get this fucker back in and out? Like, holy shit, make up your mind. I don't know. I feel like it.
Well, the argument could be made he never should have left in the first place.
I fully agree with you. I don't think he should have left. And that's a conversation. That's a separate conversation. But I mean, like, look, if you're telling me it's him for Keane, fine, I'm there. But it's got to be worth salary wise because we're trying to shave money here. We're not trying to add. And if you're telling me it's him, Milik, and Dusan, fine, I'm okay with it. But again, I feel like we already have. If Milik, it's going to depend for me on who the second striker is going to be and what even Motta is going to play with. Do we need 3 strikers or do we only need 2? You know, if Milik's staying, I don't know if we need someone experienced again. Maybe you get we have Yildiz, who's a young striker too. Like, I don't know. It's all going to depend on so many different factors. I'm not against it, but for me, it's really going to have to be about the salary because we know he asked for a fuck ton of money.
If he comes back, okay, so just the bare bones of the thing. Keane had 0 contributions. Okay, so it's not even in the same stratosphere as far as a boost. Okay, and I said the entire time, if a player leaves, the player coming in has to be better, has to boost. That's an easy boost. Milik would fall to 3rd in line if Morata came in.
Yeah.
So, and Morata, actually, I will say this. Morata makes a lot of sense for how Thiago Motta plays and what he wants from that role up top. Probably more sense than Dusan Vlahovic if we want to be actually honest and analyze all of that. But that would never happen. You're not going to bench a guy that's on 12 million. But Dušan's got a lot of work to do to fit in to that mold on what Motta's going to want. And that's going to be an interesting one to follow. Straight up, I'm fine with this, but let's not chase it immediately.
Yeah.
Let's not chase it immediately, but let's keep it in the back pocket. Because I think it's a solid option. Like, you got Vlahovic still here. You bring in Morata. And if you can incorporate Moise Kean and the fee is minimal and he's willing to take a salary that you agree to, I'm sorry. It's that's easy business. That's easy business, you guys. Other than chasing targets that we want, what's the alternative? 40 million for Xerxes. I would love that, but you're not going to have Xerxes. I still don't see Xerxes and Vlahovic on the same team.
I fully agree on that.
I don't see that. I just don't see it. I get the rumors about Xerxes playing a 10 whatnot. It doesn't make sense to me. And nobody's coming knocking for Vlahovic. So, you know what? Something like this has to happen. Retegi's also going to be, a 30 mil purchase. Everybody says, bring him in for, that's 25 to 30 mil too. I don't see it happening, guys. We have other fish to fry, like Calafiori, which is now getting complicated. The Basel high sell on, like maybe that deal goes away. We still need help in the midfield. We talked about the Luiz deal before. This is going to be very difficult for Juventus to navigate. But Morata, I say keep it on the back burner. Okay, keep it on the back burner. But goddamn, Griezmann. If Griezmann's at 15 mil on a release, like, make yourselves one of the teams that chases that guy. Because that guy could play anywhere across the front. System, setup, whatever. It doesn't matter to the guy. He's a baller. 15 mil as opposed to 12 for Morata. Bring me Griezmann. That's still my pipe dream, boys. It's okay to dream.
You've got a hard on for Griezmann. I don't know what it's been for a few years.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. Because way earlier in his career, I used to shit on that guy and I used to hate on him, whatever. And all he ever did was prove me wrong time after time after time again, to the point where now I just have this complete respect. And I love the guy as a player. And all he's done his entire career is prove me wrong. And yeah, at 15 mil, this guy's a baller and he could play anywhere across. That's what we need, is the versatility, a guy that can play anywhere up there. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm kind of blown away. People just immediately shut down Morata. Like, if Morata didn't play for Juve before, would these people still say no to Morata? It doesn't make sense to me.
That's the thing.
So take away the fact that it's a return. Would you still be saying no to Team Spain's captain? Like, coming in on 15 mil?
Hold on. That's like, you can't props him for being the captain. The team is like, the team is like hanging on by a thread right now. They're all kids. So it's,
regardless. Regardless.
Yeah, okay. But that's like, anyways. What's next? Because
take away the return. You would say no to Morata over Moise Kean coming in at 50 mil. It makes no sense.
No, I was very adamant. I said it. Like, I'm annoyed that he keeps coming back, but I would take him over Kean in a heartbeat, 100%. But again, salary, we have to look at it realistically. If they can make it work, I'm all for it. And I think Trim agrees. So, yeah.
And we got a couple in here saying Griezmann is whack. I don't know if he's whack, Jerry. Okay.
He might whack, but he's not.
He can whack that ball in the net.
Flexible player, but becomes irrelevant way too often. 15 million is okay, though. Look, guys, something's got to give. Is there any player that all of us out there agree on 100%? I don't even think there's that.
That
we're all just like, hey, I think Calafiori is the only player, and he's arguably the one we're not going to get, that everybody is like, yes to Calafiori.
I'm pissed. I want him. Watch, he's gonna prove it today. He's gonna be incredible today, and we're gonna be all begging on our knees like idiots.
Is he even gonna start today? Well, we'll talk about that because we are gonna get to the Azzurri. But first, let's say Calafiori doesn't go down, or the deal doesn't go down. You got Kiwior, That's a no. Kiwior,
Fuck no.
Hummels on a free. Our boy Adam's been fucking firing in the AJC Army chat for like a month straight.
Yeah, my God,
What are your thoughts on Hummels, Luca? Hummels.
Sorry, Trim, I'm going first on this one. I
Go ahead.
love Hummels. I like growing up. He was when he was in his prime at Bayern. Like for me, he was one of the best center backs at a certain point. I'm not so sure. It's worth it. Like again, it's on a free, so great. But what's he gonna ask? What's he gonna bring? Where is he gonna play? It's also going to depend on who's coming back in center back wise. Are we getting rid of Huijsen or is he coming? There's a lot of questions to be answered there, and I'm not against it because I think he's got the experience and he's proven himself this season. Even if it's for a handful of games, he has that. He comes in and has that Chiellini or or even that Bonucci vibe where you come in a few games and you just absolutely boss it. Sure, but I don't know. He's never played out. Has he played outside of the German league? I don't think he has. So
No.
I don't know. I love the guy, but I'm torn on it. Like I could see it happening, but how much is he gonna ask? How much is he actually gonna play? I don't know.
Hummels, Trim.
I would entertain it if it was a short term, like 1-2 year, if he was willing to come. Salary as well, obviously, would have to, coincide with that too, which I think he would make it work. But between the two of them, the more I think of Kiwior, the more I'm starting to think that the reason they want him is because he's played for Motta. I don't know enough about him. I'll be honest. I didn't watch Spezia when he played there.
What?
The only time I watched them was when we were kicking their ass that season twice, and that was about it. So I mean,
it must have been a while ago.
It was a few seasons ago, I think. At
They
least
beat us
3 seasons. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's like the fee too. I think they said they want something like 15 or 20, or actually it might even be more, maybe between 20 and 30 for Kiwior. That's quite a bit. So it's like, I don't know. This whole thing with Calafiori, I understand why everybody's literally the world's on fire right now because this guy's locked in there. They won't sell him, this and that. But he's got what? I think 2 years left on his deal.
I believe.
And he wants Juve. So I get it. The team can just say, okay, well, you're not moving, and unless we get the fee and demand what they want. But I think the player can push this through. It'll be a higher number than we would like, but I still think there's a deal to be had there.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on this whole thing being over or anything immediately right now just because they said that. Teams have we hear this all the time, okay?
Yeah.
It's just standard practice. Everybody's posturing up right now. It's the mercato. That's what happens. But Hummels, I'm fine with it. Okay, we have a lot of bodies though, and it's like, I'm kind of intrigued with Thiago Giallo. I'll be quite honest. I'm looking at this guy.
Forgot about him.
If you see that season but right before the injury though, like how crucial he was for Lille and literally playing all across the back, being able to play stout defensively while helping the offense, he's gonna fit Motta perfectly, to a T when I stop and think about it, because what Motta does with his center backs and pushing them forward, covering with the fullbacks to get those center backs pushed up and attacking the spaces and everything, that is to a T in Thiago Giallo's wheelhouse. So for me, it's the talks about him leaving, I'm not buying it until Motta actually comes in and sees this guy play. Okay. Gatti is a guy that I think will actually do very well under Motta. I think Motta will help him in the areas he struggles most, which is these fucking brain farts, especially on the ball. Motta is going to help him tremendously with that. So those are two guys I'm really looking at to excel. But if Hummels comes in, the terms have to be right. But I would be okay with it. Top priority has to be Calafiori. That's it for me.
He's a
Top
baller.
priority has to be Calafiori. Now,
Yep.
we do, before we get to storm the bar and everything, hey, we're wearing the kits for a reason. Italy, Albania today. The Azzurri kick off their Euro reigning champ campaign, okay? And this is going to be Luca's boys in the Ride or Die Challenge. So if you're with Luca, you're with the Azzurri. We're all with the Azzurri anyways, but this game, it's going to be...
you're all with
tough
Luca,
for them.
essentially.
It's going to be tough for them. It's not going to be easy. A very difficult group. We know that. Obviously, Spain, Croatia being in there as well. It is being reported, okay, that we could see the 4-2-3-1. Donnarumma, Di Lorenzo, Calafiori, Bastoni, Di Marco, Jorginho, Barella, Chiesa, Frattesi, Pellegrini, and Scamacca. Well... 4-2-3-1. Is that what you would go with? And what do you think about that lineup? How do you guys feel about that one? Who wants to kick us off on this one? Trim? Fire away.
Sure. For this specific game against Albania, I like the two-man pivot and the four at the back. I'm curious to see how it's Calafiori and Bastoni in the middle. I'm gonna be interested to see how that works because Calafiori typically plays on the left, if I'm not mistaken. So between the two of them, with him and Bastoni, I'm really curious to see how that works out. But yeah, I was thinking they were going to go 3-4-3 and play 3 at the back. I prefer 4, but just based on like the players that we have. So I'm curious to see, and it's more based on Barella's health. If he's actually like, how fit is he? Is he still nursing injury? I'm a little disappointed that obviously Fagioli's not going to get in this game because of injury, due to injury. So we'll see if he can recuperate for the next game. But it's Albania. Seriously, what are we talking about here?
There it is.
Don't do that. Don't
Come
fucking
on,
do it.
there it is.
Come on, man.
No.
Luca, what do you think about that lineup? Would you do anything different?
Oh, fuck yeah. First things first, Pellegrini was in that lineup, right? Just want to be clear.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't put Pellegrini and Frattesi at the same time. To me, they offer very much the same thing. I get some people argue otherwise, but for creative attacking midfield, ideas, they are very similar. So I wouldn't have them at the same time. And I don't think there's anyone besides them that could do it. They both offer that attacking threat from the mid. So rotate them. I wouldn't have them on at the same time. And put an actual winger. Pellegrini is not a winger. He does not have the pace for that. So that's my biggest, my real only change there. I mean, personal bias, the Juve bias, I'd rather Cambiaso over Di Lorenzo. I just think he's better at this point. But Spalletti just has a hard-on for Di Lorenzo. I don't see why, but that's the other change I would make. Besides that, the rest all makes sense.
So the Di Lorenzo thing in a back four, actually, and, bias aside, I would start Di Lorenzo before because Di Marco is going to be bombing no matter what. Okay, so it actually does make sense because you got to have, it's kind of similar to when we had Spinazzola rocking at the last Euros and whoever was on that right outside was just sitting back, hanging back, acting almost as a third center back when they round out that lineup. It's going to be very similar. Di Marco is going to be pushing forward. For Frattesi and Pellegrini, the way they have it lined up is Pellegrini's actually out on the left. Frattesi is literally in the heart, central, right above Barella and Jorginho. I wouldn't do that. I would switch Chiesa to the left, make him inverted. I would put Pellegrini at the top of the midfield triangle, and I would actually have Frattesi kind of outright if they're going to play at the same time.
That makes sense.
4-2-3-1, I get it, utilizing extra midfielders because whenever we put that extra forward in and you have like just your 3 mids, something is off. But it's been off in balance with the 4-3-3 setup in general. What I would have done, I put it out there yesterday, I would have gone with like a 3-5-2 variation or a 3-4-2-1. I would have had Di Lorenzo, Bastoni, and Buongiorno Bastoni. Okay, so Di Lorenzo, Buongiorno Bastoni. I would have had Cambiaso as your outside right. In the middle there, obviously Barella, Jorginho, and then Di Marco, your outside left. Okay, and then I would have had Pellegrini, Chiesa, and Scamacca. And that would have rounded up the lineup. That's what I did. I think we look a little suspect on counters defensively when we play that 3-5-2 variation. But in the 4-3-3 with this Azzurri side, like, they haven't been able to figure out how to get that bite in attack out of the 4-3-3. And I can't figure out why. This idea that he has with these mids, it could help. Having, like, Fratesi for the Azzurri is ridiculous.
He's
like
an engine, man.
It's crazy. He's not the same guy. He's a good player in Serie A, but he looks a different beast every time he puts on the Azzurri shirt.
I love
it. I like the idea there from Spalletti. I'm hoping it gets that bite. We got to put you guys on the spot, everybody. Italy, Albania predictions before we get to Storm the Barn and a little bit of fun around the Euros and everything. So, Luca, your prediction for Italy, Albania today, and everybody in the chat, fire in your predictions now. Don't forget to like the video too. Let's go. Luca.
2-1 Italy.
All right. Want to put some names down on goal scorers or what?
Yeah. Scamacca gets one for sure, and I think Fratesi gets the other.
All right. So he's thinking Fratesi gets that start, gets in there. Trim, your prediction?
I don't think we concede today. So I'm going to go 2-0 Italy.
Whoa.
And I'm going to go Chiesa. And I'm going to think Fratesi keeps it going and gets another one for us because he just seems like he's unstoppable right now. I think he's got, 4 goals in his last 5 games with the Azzurri, something like that, or 3 in the last 4. So he's on a heater. We got to keep riding that train. And I think a Chiesa hot start. This guy's gonna go. I have a good feeling about Chiesa this tournament. I think he's just one of those guys that when it comes to a big tournament, he just finds it, and that'll do not only the player good, but it'll also help us in terms of keeping him around. So that's my prediction.
It's not an Azzurri tournament without a little bit of turmoil, all right, everybody. So I'm going to say that
1-1.
We get the Azzurri score first. Albania will equalize. The Azzurri will edge it out 2-1. And it'll be dramatic fashion. 2-1 victory, dramatic fashion. I put Pellegrini down for probably the early one. And then a late winner from maybe somebody unexpected like Raspadori or something. Maybe Raspa or maybe even Retegui coming in after as a sub and banking one. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a nail biter there for the Azzurri, getting it through though, 2-1. And we get some of the predictions rolling in here. We've got 2-0. El Shaarawy, I forgot about him going
as
in
a
there.
sub. Definitely scoring.
2-0 Italy. 3-0 Italy. 3-1 Italy over here. Chiesa, Brace, and Fratesi with the other. 2-1 Italy from Mario. 1-0 Albania. Come on.
You know what?
Dels, 1-0. Cortomuso Allegri ruined me. LOL. Beautiful. Matteo, 2-0. And Razzo, 3-0 Italy. Chiesa goal. Fratesi goal. 3 yellows and 1 controversial call. There you go. Now, Storm the Barn time. I've got all your Storm the Barns flagged so far, as you guys know the drill, and you fire them in here before we even get to it. Love it. Okay, reminder, get those likes up. And it's time to have a little fun first, because kind of got my own Storm the Barn, and it was top 5-a-side clubs from nations. And I asked the guys yesterday to prep theirs, and we're going to go through some of the nations involved and our favorite 5-a-sides. And the first one up is Spain. So, who wants to kick us off on your personal 5-a-side for Spain? I don't mind going first if you want.
Yeah, you should go first.
Sure.
I'll go first.
Kick it off.
Obviously, in net, it's Casillas. Okay? So, Casillas is going to be the keeper. And you got to have a keeper in there. Casillas. I went Puyol. I went Iniesta. Actually went off the cuff on the other because obviously I'm guessing ton are going to go Xabi. I went Xabi Alonso and then Raul.
Ooh,
So
fuck.
so that's my
Nice.
five-a-side. I went Casillas, Puyol, Iniesta, Xabi Alonso, and Raul. So, Luca, what was your Spain five-a-side?
Literally identical to yours, which is crazy. But I didn't take Raul. I took David Villa up front.
I was so tough to not go with
He's
Villa.
still the top scorer after all these years. It is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I did go Raul, just a personal thing. So
Yeah,
Trim,
no, it's good.
you're Spanish five-a-side.
So it's funny, we're all pretty similar, but so I have three differences from your three or your
Nice.
five
It's
aside.
not,
I
it's not
have
similar at all.
I have Sergio Ramos as my defender instead of Puyol, but easily could have made an argument for Puyol. I've always liked Ramos. He's such a pain in the ass, that guy, but like, man, was he
I hate him.
good. He was
I've always
one of the
hated him,
best.
but respected him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
exactly. When we play
Yeah.
him in international tournaments, you hate him, but just you respect everything he brought to the pitch.
Still fucking
I
hate him.
had Casillas in net, Iniesta in the midfield, and then I was torn between Xabi Alonso and Xavi Hernandez. So I went with Xavi in the midfield.
That's fine.
And then for striker, it's actually really funny because we all three went with a different player. I went Fernando Torres.
Yeah, Torres
I
was in
loved
the mix
Fernando
too.
Torres.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
he was awesome. He was good, but I get the shouts for Villa and Raul,
Yeah.
obviously.
We got Icarus there coming in with theirs, Casillas, Puyol, Mendieta, Raul, and
Guti.
Guti. There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
shit, I didn't think about it at all.
Now, we get to Germany. And if you're ride or die with Berto, we got Germany, all right, off to an absolute beatdown on Scotland. So, Germany. Trim, why don't you kick us off with Germany?
So for Germany, in goal, Neuer, pretty safe bet with that. I went with Michael Ballack in the midfield, Miroslav Klose, Lucas Podolski, and Thomas Muller.
Okay,
That's
so not even a defender in there. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
all
just
right.
all-
No, we'll worry about that. We'll worry about that later. We just want to
Okay.
bag some goals.
I went. I actually went Kahn in goal because
Okay.
he was just a fucking prick,
Yeah,
but
he
he
was
was
a
like
fucking prick.
iconic for me growing up. Kahn. So I went Kahn. I went Philip Lahm. I went Ballack. I went Cruz and Klose.
Oh,
So that's my five-a-side. And Luca, very
I also
similar,
took-
it feels like.
I took no, not really, but I took Kahn because again, I don't hate Neuer. I like him. He's very much more modern, but Kahn to me was just a savage. He would eat people. That was insane.
Yeah.
I did take Lamb because to me, Philip Lamb is one of the most underrated players of all time. Absolute
yeah.
great defender. Midfield, I took Schweinsteiger and Cruz together. And as a striker, I took Muller. Muller. Yes.
Muller, yeah. And I got to lay this out here. Roast beef, it's players we've watched.
Yeah, like I haven't seen
Personal
Beckenbauer.
five-a-sides that we've seen. I
wasn't
never
alive for
watched
that.
Beckenbauer. If it went beyond time, yeah, it'd be
If it
completely
was
different
Stanga's
five-a-sides.
five, yeah, like if
Now-
Stanga's here, he could.
We get to France. So, Luca, you kick us off with France.
Okay. So nets, I put Barthez because screw Loris. I never liked Hugo Lloris. Barthez and nets, Thuram in defense. In the mid, it was tough. I had to put Zizou, 100%. I put Platini there as well, and then Audi as a striker.
Yeah, there you go. Barthez, I hate him, but I put Barthez.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
Thuram,
Yeah.
Zidane, Ribéry, and Henry.
Yeah, good shot. Good shot.
Nice.
That was my five-a-side. Trim?
So the three you mentioned off the hop, Barthez, Thuram, Zizou,
Mm.
Platini, those four. My only subtle difference, and I just went with this guy in particular just to be a little bit different, is I actually went Mbappe because can you imagine having him with those guys? Like that France roster and then having Mbappe in there, it'd be insane. So
Yeah. Now, Portugal.
this hurt.
Fuck, this is tough. I didn't know any fucking players from Portugal.
Okay, I'll go Portugal right off the. So Baia in goal, Carvalho as the D-man, Luis Figo, Rui Costa, and Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's the 5-a-side for me in Portugal. Trim.
You said, sorry, did you have Patricio in that?
No.
No, okay. So I went Rui Patricio, Ronaldo, Figo, Rui Costa, but my defender I went with Pepe because this guy's just outlasting the test of time right now. So I went with Pepe.
I so wanted to put Sosa in there.
I didn't go. I think I had almost identical to Trim, but I went Bernardo Silva in the mid. I never got to watch many Portugal games. So.
Yeah, Figo and Costa were for me growing up. Oh yeah, man.
Figo. If you don't put Figo there,
unreal.
It's
England. This was pain.
They have no defenders. I'm just saying it now. I looked for 20 minutes. Their defenders are shit. So I put all mids.
So, who wants to kick us off with England? I don't mind. I'll go first.
Fuck you. I'm going first.
Okay.
I put Seaman in nets just because he's the only goalkeeper that I absolutely adored watching.
Who? Or literally a cup of semen. Like, that's about the quality.
The David Seaman, man.
Jesus.
I put 3 mids. I put Gerrard, Lampard, and Beckham. And I actually put Scholes too, so that's 4 mids. All mids.
So, I could think of defenders. I didn't have a problem with defenders there. I put no goalkeeper because I don't like any other keepers ever. So I'm going no keeper, and I'm banking on Rio Ferdinand and Ashley Cole to just lock everything down back there.
Cole.
Good
so
shots.
I went Ferdinand, I went Cole, I went Bex and Gaza, and then I went with Shearer up top. And that's my England 5-a-side without a keeper, breaking the rule.
Nice.
Trim.
He made the rules.
That's the best part is that you made the rules, and I did the exact same thing, and only with this country because I'm like,
only with England. I went no goalie.
I'm like, who am I going to put? Joe Hart in there? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So no, I have no keeper, and I'm just banking on the middle of the park and my forward. So I actually went Jude Bellingham because the guy is my favorite player right now. He's unbelievable. I don't care that he's like super recent. He's going to be an absolute stud for time. So I went Bellingham. I went Beckham because Beckham was Beckham growing up. Like everybody wanted to be Beckham. If you weren't Italian, that was the guy. I went Steven Gerrard. I went Michael Owen. And then I had a defender in Ashley Cole. So at least I had a defender back there. But
there you go.
I went Michael Owen.
Now, we got the freaky deaky Dutch, all right? So
we have to do the Dutch.
I added that this
morning.
That
was the last minute, yeah.
That's okay. We did the Dutch, so Trim?
Yeah, you guys go for it.
What's your Dutch 5-a-side?
So, Dutch goalkeeper Van de Sar. Pretty easy to go with him. I went Edgar Davids. So no defender with the Dutch, which there are good defenders, but this is how I chose to do it. I went Van de Sar, Edgar Davids, Wesley Schneider, Van Persie, and Ian Robin. They're stacked up front. They were always stacked up front.
Always. So
I went
those guys.
Van der Sar. I did throw a defender in there, that big bald bull, Jaap Stam. I love the name. Always loved the name growing up too. Jaap Stam. Okay. Yeah. I went Edgar Davids. With Davids and Stam, you're not going anywhere, okay? I don't care who the hell you put out there. You got broken legs, you're beat up, you're dead, okay?
Yeah.
And then I went with Robin and Dennis Bergkamp up top for me.
Yeah, good show.
Just growing up, it'd be Bergkamp. You guys, in the comments, players we have seen play.
Cruyff?
Players we have seen play. Seedorf was tough for me to leave out there, but I did leave him out. And guys, it's 5-a-side from nations. Do you know the pool that you could choose from? Obviously, we're going to leave guys out, but it's now time for the Azzurri and our Italy 5-a-side. Okay?
This is really tough.
Now, okay? This is really time to go. You guys, players, we've seen. Now, okay. I don't know how friggin' old you guys think I am. Italy, 5-a-side.
Insult to you, Bert.
Buffon, obviously. What are we doing here? Buffon.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
There's no other option.
Maldini,
Ooh.
Pirlo,
Mhm.
Baggio,
Mhm.
and my heart, Del Piero. So that's my Azzurri 5.
You and Trim, I think, lined up there. You guys.
The
boxed
exact
each other.
same.
Is that the
little
exact
bit-
same?
A little bit of
exact
boxing
same,
action
yeah.
there, huh?
There you go. There you go. Oh my God, Suarez.
There you go.
Holy smokes,
Chiesa
man.
on the
We're
bench.
like,
Jesus.
that's
Chiesa.
the identical. Look at this. Everybody's on the same one. Look at that. Unreal.
Yeah, I
So,
know, but
Luca, what do you got? I think we got a little variation.
So I had a little bit of variation. Again, I'm a little bit younger than you guys, so
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch Maldini, unfortunately. So for me, it's Cannavaro instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the mid, I put De Rossi. So it's Pirlo, De Rossi, Cannavaro,
That's a good show. Good show. Yeah.
and ADP. Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
I
Nice.
wanted to, again. I thought of Baggio, but I didn't get to witness him play. So for me, these
And
are
that's
just
the-
choices that I've seen.
And that's the fun thing about this, really, is that it's everyone's kind of personal thing. And obviously, the age differences are going to come into play and everything. So it's cool to see that. But yeah, you've got some similarities to Marco's here, as he's got Cannavaro in there. So Baggio, Del Piero, Pirlo, Buffon. Yeah, it's there you go. Look at this one here.
Who the
Pinso,
fuck? Yeah, what the fuck?
Deschilio, Nicolucci, Cavia, Bernardeschi,
He's
Zaza.
just fucking with us. 100% he's fucking.
Oh no, that's it. That's it right there.
Peruzzi.
Peruzzi, Cannavaro, Nesta, Gattuso, Tony,
I wanna take
Luca,
Tony over
Tony. Oh man, I always loved this cell.
There's so, but you know what's crazy? And I was going because I went and looked at the stats. There's so many players with caps that we wouldn't expect. Like Bonucci's like third with the most caps ever, I think, or third or fourth or something. He's up there. Like I never would have thought.
Well,
Never.
they had a
Yeah.
long run, man. Like those guys at the back there.
Yeah.
Like Buffon had a crazy
Gigi's top.
run.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
some
he's-
guys just get these massive runs. Nesta was incredible. We talked
Nesta
about him, and
was
just
good,
the
yeah.
tournament luck was just never there for him. And
Another
the
one I never
Azzurri,
got to see.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But one, always, and when you come through that class, that generation, man, he gets overlooked so much.
So much.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys that have him like right up there on par with Maldini, like
100%.
right there next to him.
Yeah.
The crazy thing with Maldini is you're talking about an all-timer, not just at center back, like left back as well,
Left
like
back
two
too.
position all-timer. That's how
Yeah.
crazy Maldini was, right? And that's why for me, it's just like he's got to be in there. Yeah, incredible,
so much.
incredible talents there, and it's fun always putting together these five-a-sides and everything. Now we do have some store in the barns we're gonna get into. We've got a little bit of time here. Let's see what everybody's got rolling here. How much does Bologna want for Calafiori? Well, we're hearing 50.
Too much.
We're hearing 50.
Too much. Because Basil wants 50%. Next time, don't sign that contract, Saputo.
That's a
You
big
fucking idiot.
matzo ball out there. Okay, so 50 mil, Swarit. How much do you guys want Kefren Taram? I would love to get him. Now it's basically a steal. So at 25, how much do I? Yeah, I'd be
You
pumped
want him,
if
but-
we got Kefren Taram. I think that there was a down season there this season for him. Second half, especially, the stats aren't good, but he's not that type of midfielder. So, it's one of these things where high potential player, very high potential player, but little bit of gamble there. But that's the price tag that reflects a little bit of a gamble you could take there in 25 mil. For me, I don't know, man. Lillian's kid. Like, I have a feeling like it is going to work out. He might just, it might just be a down year and nothing there. But that price tag is a hell of a lot better than the 60 we were hearing about earlier in the year. But priority, I don't have him at like a full-on priority right now. Coop remains my priority personally. Where do you guys rate Taram in terms of our targets? Trim. How high on that list is he for you?
He'd be somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't put him as a top priority, but I wouldn't put him at the bottom of the list. I think it just really for me, depends on Rabiot. If Rabiot renews, he's not coming in. If Rabiot leaves, then I would like to see him as a rotational pivot option who can play with Luiz or can play with Fagioli or can play with Luca. If that's how we're shaping out our our formation, we're going to play with 2 pivots, like in a 4-2-3-1, or that's what I would say. I really like him. I want Juve to get him, but strictly based on the fact that Rabiot leaves. But in terms of priority, I'd put him somewhere middle tier because that price now compared to what it was is much more intriguing, and I think there's a lot to work with there.
Yeah.
So I think he'd fit in pretty good.
Yeah. How high do you rank Thuram in list of targets, Luca?
He's not even on my list. Like, I know it's a good steal, and I know he's a good player, but like I for me, Coop is above him if we could swing it, and apparently we can. So I don't know. It's not very high. I don't think about him as much as I think of, let's say, Calafiori. So it's not that high on my list, unfortunately.
But in terms of the midfielders, where does he rank? Like with Samardzic, with obviously Coop is top for you, but that's what
Coop is top.
Yeah.
No. Coop is in mid terms. Coop for me is top because it seems like everyone in our management, all the reporters are saying that it's very feasible if we get the funds. So for me, he's 100% on the top of the list. But even like after that, I'd take Samardzic. Fuck, I don't know.
Samardzic?
His name. I'd take him ahead because he's got that experience in the league, and I think he'd be less too. I don't know. That's my thought. I have nothing against Thuram, but I don't know.
I'm kind of almost 50-50 when it comes to Thuram or Samardzic. It would really depend on who else is at the club. Like if we don't land Coop, I'd probably lean a little bit more to Samardzic. But if we do land Coop, I'd probably lean a little more to Thuram. It's kind of because they're different. They're different players, right? So it's interesting. I'd be happy with both. Okay, like either one, I'm happy if we land one of those guys. Okay, don't get it wrong or skew my words, but who will be the most successful underdog team this Euros? The most successful underdog team? How big of an underdog are we talking here?
Like they have to be under top 10.
I'm done with jumping on the Serbs as like a dark horse or I'm done with that. Okay? It always bombs and goes up in flames, so I'm not doing that. If I'm looking at those teams, kind of an underdog, maybe the Danes do a little bit of damage.
They always have they have like an inside fucking burn. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, maybe the Danes. Otherwise,
that's really it.
I think Portugal's gonna actually go deep, you guys. I actually think Portugal's gonna go deep this tournament.
Ew.
So,
but but they're ranked pretty high. That's the thing. Like I don't consider them. I wouldn't consider an underdog. For me, it's anyone out of the top. We got
Ukraine. We got shouts for Turkey, Croatia. I'm thinking like Danes, maybe. I'm still taking Danes. Croatia in that group, like that Croatia-Italy game for me, it feels 50-50. Like that's a 50-50
That's the
game.
Big one.
And that's the decider, really, as to what goes down, I think, in that group is that game. Not that I think we need to completely concede to Spain or whatever, but we know how Spain plays, and I haven't seen this Spalletti Azzurri really with any kind of taste to see how they react to a game where they're probably not going to possess much of the ball, right? So it's very unknown. Not that I'm just immediately conceding to the Spain side, but it's going to be interesting to see what Spalletti's going to do in that game. But the Croatia-Italy game is a decider, so we'll see what happens. though. Underdog question, that one's gone. So anyone else wondering how De Sciglio didn't make the Azzurri squad? It's a damn shame. I'll tell you why he didn't. Because he's not real. He's not even a real human.
Allegri's not the coach either, so this doesn't happen anymore,
De Sciglio is a friggin' enigma, all right? Like, he's just, it's not even a real, it's just garbage, okay? The guy gets hurt. He got hurt in the celebration for the Coppa Italia, for Christ's sake. Is Douglas Luiz really happening? It appears so. We had to wait for the last bit, which was McKennie finding an agreement. the agreement with Luiz and Juve is at like the final details. It looks like it's going to pass. Illing Jr. also reached agreement with Villa. So many moving parts in this. Everything looks to be there. And all the top guys are saying that it's going to go through. It's just a matter of time. So that's a hell of a move. Like, that's a hell of a move for Giuntoli. That's a great first move. We talked about it on the books, what it means.
Yeah.
Because not everybody agrees with the price on Luiz, like being that 65-ish is essentially what it equates to.
Yeah.
But what we get back for McKennie and Illing towards that helps us out big time moving forward, because it's like a positive of 40 mil on the books. So, yeah, we can take that and actually move forward in the rest of the mercato. It's big. It's big. Watch along for the game. No, and the reason is Father's Day is tomorrow, but I'm watching the game with my pops today, and I'm going to have a few wobbly pops with my pops.
A few
It's a lot of pops. Okay?
What?
It's a lot of pops. Wobbly pops with my pops
Lot
watching
of
the game, all
pops.
right? So, yeah, I'll
What
be
do
with
you
my dad
speak out
watching
west?
the game.
What the fuck?
What?
What's a wobbly pop?
Oh, it's
You've never heard of that?
It's a beef.
No, we speak
Bruce?
French here.
It makes you walk wobbly if you have too many. It's a wobbly pop.
Oh, I get that. That's fun. That's cool.
Now,
Jesus.
Fucking gingers.
you guys in Quebec are in their own land. They're completely oblivious to the rest of the world.
French. Yeah.
Now, do you think our squad depth will be left lacking by the end of the mercato? So, I've got some interesting thoughts on this one, but I essentially feel, and I've been saying this for a little bit now, the coaching influence that we've always, that's been argued so heavily this past year, especially with, De Rossi joining Roma, Motta, what he's doing with Bologna, and then Allegri and what we were getting, etc. So the coach's influence thing has been this, long going battle this season. I've been saying that I think we will have some gaps still in the roster.
Oh, 100%.
And that coaching influence is going to be highlighted, I think, big time this season. So do I think the squad depth will be left lacking a bit by the end of the mercado? Yeah. Yes and no. Because, I think it kind of will. I don't think we're going to be bolstering the bench by any means. Their main objective, from everything we could see, is the best possible starting 11 that you can achieve this summer. Depending on who walks out the door is going to depend on how strong our depth is. And that's going to tie in, any way you slice it, our job with next gen and the young guys is not done. We're not out of the woods yet. We are gradually working to a point where once we get all the funds and everything's moving properly, what'll happen with next gen and those young guys is the guys that are at top tier will be integrated, and the rest are going to be these bargaining chips and this constant cash flow that we can drum up. But we're not there yet. So the depth, I do think it's going to be lacking a bit, but the coach's influence is going to be of a maximum highlight going into this year. Yep. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Agree, disagree? What do you think, Trim?
I agree, and I also am curious to see, with Motta's training regimen, will it get these guys more fit than we've seen in the past few seasons, and will that help us? Because if we don't have the depth, or as much depth as we're thinking we would need for all these competitions, for me it's just get to January with, like you said, the best starting 11 possible, some rotational pieces, and then maybe in January you reassess everything and you bring in some additional depth at that point. I know in our group chat, John Grow, obviously a little more insight than most of us, and he keeps mentioning that January is going to be the big window for us in terms of being able to spend. So if that's the case, I would think that, in January we can make more of those depth purchases if we need to add a few more pieces. But it's going to really hinge on our training and our, fitness level, right? So obviously, like you said, they're trying to really bolster that starting 11. So bolster the starting 11, see what happens in terms of the outgoings. If obviously, yeah, we're going to need depth. So, but I can see it lacking in the first part of the season, get to January, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah. Luca, what do you think?
I have much more faith in Motta actually using, you know, let's say B players. My argument with Max was get a freaking solid 11 and just stick to it because he kept changing things and we never had consistency. And only I think this last season that he actually keep it much more solid. But it was driving me nuts in the sense that these guys, even though they were playing like shit, he wouldn't rotate them. So at that point, I'm curious to see Motta actually, let's say, turn to, well, in this case, I don't know who's going to be on our bench, but I'm curious to see him turn to, guys on the bench to maybe change it up in a game. Like I don't see him always pushing the Rabiot, Luca, and McKennie trio like Max did day in, day out. I see him maybe throwing in a Fagioli or maybe a Nicolucci or a Miretti like this season. I see him doing it much more than Max does. And I think that goes to the same for the back line as well as our front line. So, if Dusan has a bad game, fucking 12 mil, if he has a few bad games, 12 mil a year, I don't care. I think Motta puts him on the bench to make him learn his freaking lesson. And I think that's needed. Or whatever, even if it's not needed, just rotate him for the Coppa Italia game or something. I see him doing it more than Max did, and I'm excited for that because I think we do have a lot more talent than we show, and I think his system will probably either really highlight the flaws or highlight much more of our pros. I'm curious more than I am worried.
Yeah, I'm going to switch. We're going to go into this here. We're just going to get Luca back in here because this was kind of unexpected.
Okay.
But we're going to pull up something real quick here. So obviously we got the announcement, and the announcement itself was, I don't know, what do we think about the little intro there with...
Fucking terrible. What the fuck was this?
Torna Max. Torna Max. It scared the shit out of a lot of people. No, listen. Maybe fell a little underwhelming on the whole delivery and everything. But I will say this. When it comes to Motta, I was pretty pumped. I am pumped. He was up there for me on the list. It was Motta and Conte for me. But I want to bring up because we saw Milan hire Fonseca. Now, listen. I don't give a shit about Fonseca. Okay, so that's not why I'm bringing this up or whatever. But I'm bringing up Zlatan Ibrahimovic's words because this was this was where it got interesting. Questioned on Conte, and Zlatan had this to say.
What do you say?
Obviously, yes, he's great, okay, but it's not who we were looking for. And he said, we're looking for not a manager, but a coach. A coach is what we need right now. And that actually should really hit home with us as Juventini. Because I've been screaming it for a while. A ton of you in the AJC Army have been screaming that throughout the season. We don't need a guy that calculates points. We don't need a man. We need a coach. Mm-hmm. We need a coach. Agreed. We need someone, and I'm not saying that Fonseca fits that, whatever, but Zlatan's whole his whole presser about that and them needing that because of the group they have. Somebody that could put them together, that could teach them things, that could bring something new and a fresh face and everything. That's exactly what we needed. Okay?
Yeah.
Because Max, he's one of those guys. And when you start looking at those top tier guys, that's who they are. They expect you.
Fine.
They expect your guys to know all the situations, know exactly what to do, whatever. And they just put it all together. You're Ancelotti, etc. Ancelotti's not going to a place to completely redesign anything now. Those guys are done. This is my way, this is my style, this is what I play. But as far as us, that really hit home. We need a coach,
Yeah.
his play, his game, and what he's going to do. Wait for the video. I drum up everybody, and like there's so much to put into it. And I've done a little piece where I talk about it, but I also talk about the players that we have and try to connect it to us because nobody's really done that yet. It's actually kind of wild, but some of the guys we may least expect could be actually big for us moving forward. And that's what actually excites me the most about the whole Motta thing. But yeah, Zlatan, when he said that, the second he said it, I was like, yeah. And you're looking around now too. There's a trend where a lot of these clubs, depending on the situation you're in, Bayern has found themselves in the same situation where they know they're going to get young. They're going to be offloading guys. They didn't chomp at the bit to get an expensive guy coming in. They went cheap. They went cheap. It's a slow build, and then you look from there. Yep. So maybe a Motta, maybe it works out, goes strong. Hopefully it does. And then into like a Zidane. Oh, baby. Okay, but anyway,
man,
I would
5-year plan. Get the 3 extended, and then boom.
Yeah,
but anyways,
let's do it.
Anyways, you know, Fanta Calcio. It's fun. We love it. It is what
we
it
can
is.
Dream.
Okay.
We can dream.
Now, couple more Storm the Barns. We're wrapped. Since I'm a big watch fanatic, is anybody on the panel into watches?
Yeah, I like to watch TV. What the fuck are we talking about?
So listen, watches. Or is it
I like
shows?
watches, but I'm not like...
I can't even tell. Is that a TV emoji?
No, it's
is
a watch.
It a show
no,
watch?
it's a watch.
It's a watch. It's a yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not into watches yet. I'm not rich enough. I still live at my parents' home.
So, obviously, like day to day, it's just the Apple Watch, whatever. But like, when I'm into ridiculously big face watches. Okay, like they're monsters. Okay?
Bert, are you overcompensating for something? Let's just tell us because we're.
There we go.
No, Luca, please. I can hit you in Quebec with it right now if I pull it. Okay, so stop. Listen.
Disgusting.
Listen. Big face watches. My buddy worked for a company. It's not like it's high end either. It's literally Nixon, just the brand Nixon. But they make I love their watches. And I had a buddy who was a rep for a skate shop, and he used to just hook me up with these watches. And so I have so many ridiculously big faced watches. Okay, it's crazy, and I never wear them because obviously I'm married. I got 2 kids. I don't go out anymore. I don't do anything, whatever. But that's it. I'm not into like high end watches or anything like that. That's all I could say to watches. Trim.
I appreciate them. I like them, but I'd be lying if I said I'm like the biggest watch enthusiast or I collect watches. Like they're nice, little statement pieces, I guess, if you go out here and there, but I'm not like the biggest watch guy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that is essentially it. I think we're ending up on watches.
We're wrapping up on watches?
I think we're wrapping up on watches. I think this is the first.
We're not talking about chips. We're good.
Just checking. Oh, wait. Just wait. It's coming.
No,
okay?
Not today, guys. Not today.
Chips, come on. What do we?
Let's not do this.
Skanga sent me a tweet, but just before I wrap up, he sent me a tweet yesterday of the chip bag sizes in China. They're literally the size of dog food bags. Yeah. Like, have you ever seen those extremely... I was like, dude, what are we even doing here?
I thought it was a bucket. Wasn't the one girl carrying a bucket as big as her torso? It was just... I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. Anyways.
Between that and popcorn, if we could get some popcorn maybe,
The Azzurri today take on Albania. You guys, again, no watch along. You guys know what I'm doing, but enjoy it. All right. We are going to finish up on something Juve based because I got to get your opinions on this because this came out today and I got to know what everybody's thinking about them. But this is the new training gear that just got launched. Where are we at on this, everybody?
All right.
Luca, you kind of, where are you at? I'll scale 1 to 10.
My mind hasn't changed since I saw it last year. It's a 2 on 10.
2? Okay. Trim, where are you at on this? That's 2.
I'd say it's a solid 7, 7.5. Not bad.
What, 7?
7?
God, okay. What is
7. It's a training kit. Who cares? Like,
I know,
really?
But It's still gonna be honest about it. It's awful.
It's all right. I would have liked like different
Yellow.
colors. I don't know. Like
Yellow would have been better than orange.
Was it
ties
just
into
you
more.
refer to
Razzo's
the-
kind of with you, Luca. That's a 3.
That's a
Dragons just says LOL weird.
Looks like a pumpkin. What is this? When do we ever have orange at Juventus? Like, what is this?
That piss yellow kit is just
Yeah, I, was
horrendous.
gonna say, I thought you were showing the away kit. I would have been giving it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I didn't want to hurt anybody's eyes before we get into that Azzurri game. You know, like keep the eyes easy strained.
Okay,
I don't know.
the third
yeah,
jersey
guys.
will make up for it, guys. I promise.
Yes.
And we're wrapping up on Adam's very like we talk about dad jokes. This guy's not even a dad yet.
Oh,
Orange,
this guy's
you
like
glad
5.
about it, guys.
He's like 5 and he makes these jokes. It
Wah,
doesn't make
wah,
sense.
wah. All right, you guys.
Okay, wrap it up.
We're going to keep you into the news. Obviously, I'll be back with daily update videos leading through the week. All we're hearing today is the same. Douglas Luiz is close to getting finished. Alicia Lehman, maybe an opportunity for the Juventus women. Yes, please. Jadon Sancho was an option apparently at the winter mercato. We will be reviewing again. Juve is going to make the approach. And Szczesny wanted to remain at Juventus until the end of the contract, 2025, but was forced and is being forced to leave because he is not in Coach Thiago Motta's plans. All right.
Bye-bye.
And that is essentially it. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the rest of the games through the Euros, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with the daily update video. As always, no matter what, fino alla fine, Forza Juventus and Forza Azzurri. And best of luck to all the Juve players at the tournament. All right. So take care,
Ciao.
everybody. Ciao.
Yeah.